A very good day to all. I welcome you for this lecture series on basic civil and mechanical engineering. This particular lecture series will be discussing about foundry and casting process, followed by 3D printing as well as lathe shop. We will be covering the third unit of basic civil and mechanical engineering syllabus. We will try to cover that in this particular lecture series. So first topic is foundry or foundry shop, introduction to foundry shop operations. So before getting into the topic, I would just like to give you an introduction to foundry and what are the operations performed in a foundry. So foundry is a place where melting of metal takes place. So melting of metal can be done for many reasons. It may be done to convert scrap metal into it may be done to recycle scrap metal again into an useful product, or it may be done to add some alloying elements into the existing composition, or it can be done to remove impurities from the ore to make it a pure material. So be it any process, in a foundry shop, the basic step is to melt the existing material into a liquid form. So if you take a foundry, the first step would be to create material. That is, if you are making steel. So everywhere around us, we are using steel. Steel is nothing but it's an alloy of iron. So iron is a pure form, and steel is an alloyed form of iron. So pure iron, we cannot use it directly in most cases because it has some properties. It has some limitations regarding its strength, its antioxidation properties. That is, it tends to rust when exposed to atmospheric oxygen. That's a major drawback. Another drawback is its brittleness. Pure iron is brittle, so you need to add some alloying elements to make it ductile. To overcome these drawbacks, we are going for alloying. So the alloyed form is called as steel or cast iron or gray iron, pig iron, wrought iron. So there are different varieties of iron and steel available, which are alloyed forms of pure iron. So to make pure iron, we have to extract iron from iron ore. That's where I'm getting there. So to extract iron from iron ore, you have to melt the iron ore to remove those impurities and make iron. So that's a process which we will be performing in a furnace. So there, iron ore will be melted and you will be removing the excess impurities to make it into iron. So that's an example of operation which can be performed in a foundry shop. So getting to the topic. So as I said, it involves various process, step-by-step process. Once the metal is melted, then you can go into the casting process. So once the casting process is done, then you can go for the machining process. Once the machining process is done, you can go for the finishing process, and the finishing process, after the finishing process, assembly or inspection process takes place. And after the inspection, it is assembled into required components. So that's a flow of any manufacturing process. The basic thing starts with the foundry. Foundry is where metal is melted. So to melt metal into a liquid state, a furnace is used. Furnace is nothing but it's a large stove. The household stove whichever we are using, it is a modified form of our household stove. If it's a gas oven, then it's a modified form of our LPG cylinder. If it is a coal-based furnace, then it's a modified form of our household wood oven. So it is modified in the sense it is made, scaled up into a larger object with some modifications to enhance its properties, to enhance the temperature generated by the furnace. That's what happens in a foundry. That's what happens in a furnace. So furnace is a object where metal is melted. So far what we have seen is, we have seen about the objectives of a furnace, objectives of a foundry. So foundry is a process where metal is melted for various purposes, for alloying, for increasing the, for converting the existing material into a new material, to remove the impurities from the ore to make it a pure form. So the application goes so on. And we have discussed about a furnace. So furnace is a device where metal is melted. So there are various types of furnaces, cupola furnace, blast furnace, electric arc furnace, like the different furnaces are available. So we will discuss about cupola furnace in our next lecture series. So I hope you understood the introduction to foundry. We'll see in the next lecture video. Thank you.